More than 2.3 million individuals are currently incarcerated in the United States, according to the organization Centers for American Progress by Kathleen Bender, March 2nd, 2018. Today in my presentation, I'm going to be speaking on behalf of those 2.3 million individuals and why they deserve an education. There are many debates going around if prisoners deserve an education, and I'm going to tell you why they do. I'm credible to talk about this because I am going into a career in law enforcement. Prisoners deserve a proper education in order to look forward to a positive and safe lifestyle outside of the prison. The three main points that will be covered are the problems with prisoners not receiving a proper education, the causes of those problems, and possible solutions. Now that I have introduced the topic, we are now going to discuss the problems with prisoners not receiving a proper education, specifically the mental and physical abuse. An academic education is supposed to help prisoners look forward to life outside of the prison, according to the website The Best Schools by the TBS staff, July 9th, 2019. Without an education, prisoners fall into their everyday habits of waking up, eating, talking to other prisoners. They have nothing else to do. Eventually, they get bored. They don't see potential within themselves. Therefore, instead of getting better, they only get worse, and the majority turn to violence. Violence within a prison can be very dangerous and cause severe outcomes for many individuals. For example, rapes, suicides, or homicides. In 2018, a riot took place in South Carolina's Lee Correctional Institution that ended with the death of 7 inmates and the injury of 17 others, according to the website Vox by P.R. Lockhart, April 5th, 2019. In 2016, 303 deaths per every 100,000 inmate due to the violence, according to the website Prison Policy Initiative by Emily Widra, February 13th, 2020. Many prisoners turn to violence in order to substitute their pain into pleasure by inflicting pain on others. Meaning, if a prisoner is experiencing pain, they want others to suffer with them, therefore they purposely inflict pain on others. Now that we've introduced the problems with prisoners not receiving a proper education, we are going to discuss the causes, specifically the lack of resources and the misleading reason for prison. Both the physical and mental abuse are caused by the lack of resources. Resources, like education, are provided within a prison in order to help prisoners succeed and help them understand their actions, determining right from wrong. 8 and 10 state prisons offer educational programs, according to the report Education and Correctional Population by Caroline Wolf Harlow, January 2003. That means 364 prisons don't have an education program. Hundreds of thousands of prisoners are left to fend on their own because they aren't within a prison that provides the proper resources like the proper education. They need opportunities and activities to do throughout the day in order to help them understand their actions, because letting them fend on their own isn't how it works. The purpose for a prison is determined on 4 different criteria: retribution, deterrence, incapacitation, and rehabilitation, according to the journal Stage Journal by Misty Kiefer, Craig Hemmons, and Mary K. Stroh, May 1st, 2003. Many individuals forget about the aspect of rehabilitation. They believe that prisoners go to prison in order to rot, isolated from society until they are magically able to understand what they have done is wrong and what they can improve on. But that isn't how it works. Prison is meant to be an institution where individuals can solely focus on themselves. Improvements don't happen overnight. There needs to be continuous repetition and continuous determination from the prisoner in order to improve both physically and mentally. There needs to be activities and opportunities to do throughout the day in order for individuals to understand their situation and understand how their actions impacted their community. Now that we have discussed the causes, we're now going to discuss the possible solutions that should be taken. Prisoners that are receiving a proper education say that it helps us be civic human beings and helps us understand we have interests within our community, according to the newspaper Washington Monthly by Manisha Gelman, November 28, 2019. An education isn't meant to be a punishment, but instead as a fresh slate, according to the previous Washington Monthly source. I believe that there should be a law stating that prisoners that are serving time are obligated to receive an education in order to better themselves and improve both physically and mentally. Last year, the Illinois Department of Corrections spent $276 on books for its educational programming across 28 correctional facilities. According to the website Illinois Public Media by Lee V. Gaines, April 18, 2018. That means approximately $9.86 was devoted to each facility. That alone, that lack of funds, is restricting prisoners from receiving a proper education. We need your help. You can accomplish this by going to the website American Library Association, where you can donate both money or any educational supplies, for example, books. Now that we have discussed the possible solutions, let's summarize everything we have discussed today. In my presentation today, we have discussed the problems with prisoners not receiving a proper education, the causes of those problems, and possible solutions that should be taken. Prisoners deserve a proper education in order to improve their well-being and reach their full potential. Those 2.3 million individuals can be given a second chance rather than letting them fall and possibly committing another crime. Over the past several years, the United States has had a pattern of ignoring prisoners, thinking that serving time will teach them a lesson. But without a proper education, prisoners find themselves in this continuous pattern of committing a crime, leading themselves in prison. We need to put an end to this cycle and acknowledge that there is a misleading reason and representation for prison. We need to put an end to this, because if we don't, it'll only get worse from here. Thank you.